Today we're going to be taking a look at Fire Emblem Fates Birthright for the Nintendo 3DS. Now I have to get something out of the way right away. I am a huge Fire Emblem fan, dating back all the way to the original back in 1990 on the Famicom. So you know I'm a fanboy. So let's go ahead and jump on into the review. The absolute best aspect of this game is the gameplay. It's absolutely spot on. You move your units across a grid battlefield in order to successfully complete objectives. Each chapter has a specific objective, but unfortunately that's where Birthright stumbles. Normally you have a wide assortment of objectives, but in Birthright you pretty much only have two. Defeat all the enemies and defeat the boss. And that's kind of unfortunate. Yes, there are the odd objective here and there, but for the most part, that's all you get. The gameplay is where it's at though. The legendary weapon triangle has returned, although it's slightly changed this time around. Swords and magic have an advantage over axes and bows. Axes and bows have an advantage over lances and hidden weapons. And lances and hidden weapons have an advantage over swords and magic. To make things ultra simple, the triangle is also color-coded. Red has the advantage over green, green over blue, and blue over red. Pretty simple stuff. As you level up your units, not only do they become more powerful, but they also learn skills such as counterattack and many more. Each unit can hold a maximum of 6 skills. It's also possible to change classes, of which there are many. If you happen to locate a specific class-changing item, you can go ahead and change to an advanced class. The support system, which was first introduced way back in Fire Emblem Binding Blade, which was unfortunately never released outside Japan and is on the Game Boy Advance, makes its return here. Characters build bonds based on whether they fight side by side with one another. Characters that form strong bonds with one another can use special items in order to change classes that reflect this bond. That's nothing to mention the stronger characters support one another, the better they fight alongside each other. It's a really great system, and it returns from Awakening, but even improved. Then there's the whole weapon system, which can change a very weak character into a powerhouse if they increase their weapon rank from E to S. There's so much depth here, it's just incredible. I also really like the storyline in Birthright, and I can't wait to jump back into the other two games to see all the differences. You play as Corrin, either a male or female warrior, who lives in Nor with her or his loving family. I'm gonna say her from now on because I made Corrin a lady. So her father, who's an absolute monster of a man, is hell-bent on the destruction of Hoshido, the neighboring kingdom. And now I don't really want to go further than that in the storyline, but needless to say, things are not as they appear, and after the 6th chapter, the player has to make a very important choice. And this is ultimately what separates the 3 different versions of Fire Emblem Fates. Players have to decide if they stay with their family in Nor, defend Hoshido, or decide to veer off on their own. I mentioned before that there are a lot of different classes, and well, I wasn't kidding. You've got archers, cavaliers, knights, paladins, ninjas, monks, and countless others. Selecting which units to bring with you into battle is a key element in the Fire Emblem series, because you have to balance all the different gameplay elements I mentioned already. Do you bring in your most powerful units all the time and then let the others stay at low levels? Doing so could put you at a serious disadvantage later on when specific classes have advantages over your mighty few. Thankfully, Birthright eases players into things by allowing them to scout for challenges, which essentially allows you to grind levels. It's entirely possible to max out a unit to level 20, then use a Master Seal to promote said unit to their advanced class, so think of a Cavalier to a Knight, and then to level that class to 25 with another seal. If you take the time to do this for each of your units, you're pretty much going to be virtually unstoppable. Outside combat, you'll spend a lot of time customizing your castle. Not only do you decide where to place your armory, jail, and all manner of other buildings, but this is where you develop further bonds with the different characters. Eventually you can even marry and have children, which causes new events to take place throughout the game. While in your castle hub, you can purchase accessories for all of your troops, which give them nice stat buffs, and you can even fortify your castle with powerful armaments. There's just a wealth of things to do in the castle subsetting. Fire Emblem Fates Birthright is an absolute great starting point for newcomers of the series. There are 3 core difficulty settings you can choose from: normal, hard, and lunatic, and these control the strength of your enemies. Then there is the whole permadeath subject, which is what most people disliked about the Fire Emblem series in the past. On Classic, it's enabled, meaning if a unit dies, they're gone for good. Casual brings fallen units back once the chapter is complete. And finally, Phoenix mode acts like a god mode, and as soon as your turn is over, the character pops right back, including Corrin. So essentially, there's almost no way for you to lose. This is by far the most forgiving mode to play on, and if you're stuck, well, go ahead, just experience the story. Downloadable content isn't mandatory for any of the Fire Emblem games, but it's certainly worth checking out. Not only do you get to play through some great maps and have a chance to level some of your characters, but you can also get access to some extremely rare weapons, which can make certain units almost godlike in power. There's a nice mixture of free and paid DLC at the time of this review. There are a few other elements that I didn't quite care for. Once you're in the castle setting, there's supposed to be these intimate moments, and I just never, I never connected with them. They felt kind of cheesy. Like you can caress your partner from being asleep to awake. You can blow off steam that's, if they're having like a bath or something like that. Like it just, it didn't connect with me whatsoever. The dialogue can also be a little bit cheesy. I don't know if this is the translation or just the dialogue itself, but some moments in the game are genuinely sad and powerful, but then there's others that just come across as silly. And while I do like the story, I have to admit that there are plot holes just about everywhere, but I can't go into detail for fear of spoiling the game. Fire Emblem was one of the pioneers of the strategy RPG genre, and it's incredible that after 26 years the series is better today than it ever has been before. Fire Emblem Fates Birthright is a great entry point for anyone looking to see what all the fuss is about, and for longtime veterans, it's a great story to experience before you jump into the harder versions of the game. Having 3 games to play in this wonderful installment is an absolute delight, and I can't recommend this game enough. It's actually worth buying a 3DS for. It's that good. For the full written review, be sure to hit up projectcoe.com.